107, Jesus' Ascension. Jesus helps his disciples to understand his teachings, and then he goes up to heaven.
Then he said to them, "These are my words that I spoke to you while I was still with you, that everything written about me in the law of Moses and the prophets and the Psalms must be fulfilled." Then he opened their minds so they could understand the Scriptures, and said to them, "Thus it stands written that the Christ would suffer and would rise from the dead on the third day, and repentance for the forgiveness of sins would be proclaimed in his name to all nations, beginning from Jerusalem. You are witnesses of these things. And look, I am sending you what my Father promised. But stay in the city until you've been clothed with power from on high." Then Jesus led them out as far as Bethany, and lifting up his hands, he blessed them. And during the blessing he departed, and was taken up into heaven. After he had said this, while they were watching, he was lifted up, and a cloud hid him from their sight. As they were still staring into the sky while he was going, suddenly 2 men in white clothing stood near them and said, "Men of Galilee, why do you stand here looking up into the sky? This same Jesus, who has been taken up from you into heaven, will come back in the same way you saw him go into heaven." So they worshipped him and returned to Jerusalem with great joy, and were continually in the temple courts blessing God.
Question 1. If you had been on that hillside the day Jesus ascended, what would your response have been? Question 2. After the body of Jesus ascended into heaven, his followers were tasked with being his hands and feet. In what ways can we be his body on a daily basis? Question 3. How eagerly are you looking for the return of Jesus in the same way he went into heaven?